It's so good to be back here on Strong and Sassy. My name's Animwaa Anim-Addo. Let me say a big thank you to Noella for singing for me last week. Hope you enjoyed the show. So we're live and interactive as always on Facebook. So I always tell you that the visuals are way better. So if you're not driving, you're home and you're chilling, just go to Facebook, join 99.7, and then you can watch it and it's interactive. So we'll be keeping an eye out for your comments and your thoughts. So tonight we're talking about saying no, creating boundaries or having boundaries as women, and the challenges that come with saying no, and really finding the strength to be able to say no to the things that we want to say no to. One of my favorite quotes about saying no is one that says that no is a full sentence. So like no and full stop is a full, no explanations given, no explanations necessary. So that's the conversation we're having tonight. And joining me for the first time on Strong and Sassy is Lillian Nate. Lillian is a real estate broker. I'm not going to try and mention the name of the I'm going to let you do that, Lillian. So where's the place that you work?
Serene Ages Realty.
Okay, it was the ages that I wasn't sure about. But it's very nice to have you. Thank you so much for having us here. And I mean, you, Jay. Not your first time, not your second time.
No.
So, Miss Efia Chumwa Bafo is a business growth and personal branding coach, joining us for like the 100th time. But thank you so much for being here, you guys.
Thank you for having me.
So let me start with you, Efia.
Right.
Just, so that we don't flood Lillian with our drama. We can be very dramatic, just FYI. So, I mean, do you find it difficult to say no?
Okay, so a little background, yeah. So
Okay.
growing up, I was that kid where I was very loud
Okay.
as a kid. So teachers would be like, "You're too loud, you're too this." So it got to a point when I grew up, I realized that, I needed to tone down.
Okay.
So as part of toning down, it's like when you tell me to do something and I don't even want to do it, I'm like, okay.
Okay.
But then when I started running my business and then getting into the career I am in now, I realized that sometimes you can just take on certain tasks that makes no sense, and then you can end up running at a loss. You can end up being overwhelmed or frustrated. So up until a certain point, I did not say no.
Okay.
But now no is like I'm closing my eyes to say no, and I'm not even looking at you.
Okay. Is it tough? Is it still tough though?
Sometimes it depends on
What you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
who is in question, and then the situation at hand.
Okay.
I think for some time now I've been telling my little sister, she calls me very early in the morning, and I don't sleep early. So I told her that listen, you can't call me early in the morning because I don't sleep early. So, and she got very pissed. She was so angry and all that, and she didn't understand why. But I've come to realize that is the boundary I need to set for peace to reign. Otherwise, she'll call me in the morning, I'll pick up, and I might not say something that she wants to hear. So it's better to say no to her and then have my peace than to accommodate her and then maybe. So I told her, if it's not an emergency, please don't call me in the morning.
Okay.
And now if
Fair
she's
enough.
fighting with me, she literally tells me that I've told her not to call me in the morning. So it's part of her argument.
Oh wow! I see. At least she hasn't said that if she can't call in the morning, then she won't call you at all.
Right. I mean, she has to understand.
But that's how
work
people
very
usually
late.
respond to boundaries. When you say don't do
Yeah.
this, oh, then we won't call you.
Yeah.
Me that I'm saying
yeah.
it, I'm like that. If you tell me something, I say then it's okay. I won't call you at all. And which is not right, but I mean,
Right,
it is what
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
So okay, Lillian, what about you? Have you had trouble saying no?
I have had, just like Efia, I think that I used to be a huge people pleaser.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do things for people and inconvenience myself and think that it was okay.
Okay.
And also growing up, they say that you need to be there for others without thinking about if you're there for yourself. And so I used to be a huge people pleaser until about just some 5 years ago.
Okay. What happened?
I had a burnout.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was that bad that I had to do therapy. And so it was in therapy that I learned about taking yourself very personal, like making yourself a big deal in your life, and setting boundaries, understanding that boundaries is not being selfish or not caring about what other people want or what they want you to do, but understanding that you can't keep pouring into people, because at the end of the day you would run out, and then what happens to you? And so I used to be a huge people pleaser, but now, I mean, my friends would tell you no. If it's no, I'm not even thinking twice about it, because I've seen the other side of doing that is not nice.
I mean, I don't want to pry, but I mean, sometimes our personal experiences and our stories are the things that impacts people a lot. So as much as you're comfortable with sharing, do you want to like just give us an idea of what the burnout was like for you, so that if there are people who are struggling, you know, with saying no, then they'll maybe from your story be able to glean that, you know, if I don't learn how to put boundaries up, then this is what the other side looks like.
For me, I think that experiencing a burnout is almost similar to your soul screaming, don't do this. You've had enough. But you're also telling yourself, oh, let me just do this one thing. Or they at least let me help them. Or let me stay for a while. Or let me do this for a while. But meanwhile, your soul is screaming inside of you that, look, it's okay. And so when you get to that extent,
You've given enough. Like
you've
it's
given
enough.
you've given enough. You've poured so much. Now you're drained. You're empty. And when you're empty, and there's nothing coming in, that's when you experience all the you may even go into depression. You may have anxiety. You lose interest in life, basically. And that's what actually happened to me along that line. And so, like I said, having experienced that and knowing that these things contributed to it and not wanting to go back there again, my boundaries game is very strong. Very strong. I don't care who you are, whether it's business, personal, family. Yes, sometimes family is a bit dicey.
Yeah,
It's a bit dicey.
Sisters especially.
Right.
Yes, it's a bit dicey, but I would try as much as possible to set a certain kind of boundary, so that it doesn't affect me. Yeah.
I mean, it must be tough. Because you know we talk about it. It sounds nice, of, you know, setting boundaries and stuff. But it's tough to
set boundaries.
To set, especially with the people you love. I'm just thinking on the back of what you said, because I live with my sister as well, and she likes to come into my room around 3 a.m.
Wow.
You know, because that's the time she wakes up. She wake up to pray or whatever, and she's trying to have like business conversation. Like, I'm sleeping, bro.
This time.
Why? But that's when her brain works. And, you know, I see the hurt in her eyes every time, you know, she comes, and I'm like, go away. You know, but then
Please
the
write it
flip
down.
side
We can
of
talk about it later.
the flip side of that is that then you've disrupted my sleep. I'm tired. I have a headache. So I mean, I'm saying all of this to say that how do we find the balance, or do we just have to accept that, you know, in setting boundaries, the people that we love sometimes will be hit.
So one of the things that I realize is, whatever you do, whether boundaries, no boundaries, you end up sometimes hurting the people you love, and we are all humans. We wouldn't understand one thing, like we won't be on the same page every time. As you said, you are sleeping at that time, and that's the time her brain is also working. Like literally, like it's normal. People are like that. At dawn, they think better, and then they are more productive at dawn. It's normal. So something like that, I can have a conversation. Please write it down. In the morning, let's talk about it. I know at dawn your brain works, so just write it down, and then in the morning we'll talk about it. So with my little sister, like, for instance, she did that for some time, even when I told her, don't call me in the morning, because I remember my mom used to, in my house is a norm. When they wake up, they start calling you, whether you are, they just want to make sure you are okay. But then I work into the night, so sometimes like as late as 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I'm still awake. Then I'm going to bed at 3, 4, and you're calling me at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
5 a.m. I'm like, oh. And when I wake up, my head will ache me very badly.
Yeah.
So I told my mom did, she understood and stopped calling me at that time. But my little sister, oh my God. So at a point,
shout out to the little sister.
I explained to her, I said, listen, I work at night. That's how come I'm not able to wake up early. So if you call me and then I don't end up picking up, cool. But if you call me in the morning, very early in the morning, please, I wouldn't pick up. So now, in as much as sometimes she's adjusted to it, all right, but sometimes she'll choose to call you early in the morning just for shiggy reasons. So I've just learned to put my phone on silent. Yeah. And then, so initially I couldn't put my phone on silent because it was a work phone as well. But now I've separated my work phone from my personal phone. So my work phone, when I'm going to sleep, I leave it in the hall.
Okay, fair enough.
And clients even do that. So my business is online as a 24-hour business. So it's 24/7, yeah.
24 hours.
So
Oh, she's not the one who has made it 24
yeah, I made it 24 hours because sometimes I don't sleep early, as I said.
Okay.
And then sometimes like clients want something, I can easily do that. And then, I mean, there's money in the midnight. So sometimes, but when I'm going to sleep, at 3 a.m.
Eventually.
I leave the phone in the hall and then I go and sleep. And then my personal phone, I put on silent. Okay. When I wake up, I'll call you back. Yeah, I will call you because it's very difficult to make this, especially when it comes to family. It's very difficult to set boundaries, but we need to get to a point where in Ghana they don't instill that in us.
Yeah,
it's like even when your little sibling is crying over something and then you want it or you need it, they'll tell you give it to them.
Yeah.
And then it's like you have to forgo yourself for them, and that's how we've grown up. So it's normal that we grow up to become these kind of people. We grow up to not have boundaries. We see boundaries as being too known.
Yeah.
It is okay. But once you come to understand that, oh, there's something called boundaries, and then maybe when I do this, that, I put this in place, I can have peace of mind. Please do not hesitate
to do it.
Yeah.
Lillian, do you want to add to?
Yeah, I think that we ought to be firm, but in a loving way when it comes to family especially, because the people who feel they're entitled to everything about us and for us is family. And so you've got to find a firm way, but in a loving way, to let them understand that, look, I'm sorry, you can show up in my house, but don't come with alcohol or don't come with drugs, because I won't tolerate it. When you come, I'll sack you. In a very nice tone, they will understand. Okay,
I'm trying to imagine the way you're soft-spoken, sacking somebody from your house.
Okay, I can't come for this family funeral. I have other engagements. I can send in a token to help. See, because otherwise you are stretch yourself, and then you realize that a lot of the time you feel tired, you're unhappy, you can't put your thoughts together because you're always on the edge, you're doing something, you're always on the run. Can you do this for me? Oh, sure, no problem. Can you do this for me? Oh, sure, no problem. Can you give me this? Oh, sure, no problem. We've got to set boundaries on every aspect of our lives. I was telling somebody that, look, now we are in as those days, you need to meet somebody physically to give them money. Now you need to just pick your phone and then you give them money. And people have taken advantage of that. And a lot of them, they won't even ask you for something huge. So you feel, oh, how much is this person asking? What you don't know is that they've asked like 10 other people already. Yeah. So
crowdfunding. It's very effective.
So yes. So even our material things, our finances, we need to set boundaries
with them. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, another thing about boundaries that concerns me, let me start with you, Lillian, is boundaries that we have to set with ourselves. So even the things that we do that we know are not good for us, how do we get to a place where we're able to say, I mean, and sometimes there's a thin line between like boundaries and discipline, right? Yeah. So you know that you need 7 hours of sleep, or you know that you have too much screen time, or you know that your eating habits are not great, or you know that you're not working out, or you know that you're not taking care of yourself. How do you, because those are kind of boundaries that you have to say. I don't know if you guys, like, when you're talking to yourself, it's like two people. The person who wants to do the right thing and the person who wants to do the wrong.
That's me,
So how do you, and if, well, do you have those kind of conversations with yourself? And I mean, I'm asking you, especially as well, that because of therapy, through therapy, was there a way that, you learned how to get to the place where, because I feel like you have to learn how to say no to yourself first before you can say no to other people. Or maybe it's easier to say no to other people than it is yourself. I don't know. So,
It is.
yeah.
Yes. But I think that one of the things we don't do as women, or we don't incorporate into our lives, is journaling. See, it's easy to listen to stuff. It's easy to sit down and just think. But when you put your thoughts down on paper and you read it, okay, is this how I think? So is this how low I'm thinking of myself? Is this how high I'm thinking of myself? It brings a certain kind of awareness to you. And so one of the things I do a lot, almost every day, I journal. I journal my thoughts and I read it out to myself. And so it's a way of, for me, learning how to love myself. For instance, my weight. I need to work on my weight. So I write down, what am I doing? And so I write it down in my journal. I read it. Okay, so what can I do? And then I write that also down. If I'm not working on it, I'll come back into the journal. I'll be ashamed of myself once I read it. And so I need to work on it, and I'm motivated to work on it. And so when it comes to saying no to yourself, it's about finding a way to create that awareness to yourself that, look, you matter. Setting boundaries is basically telling yourself, I love myself too. I respect myself too. If I love myself too, will I just watch anything? Will I just listen to anything? Would I just allow anybody to just touch me? No. And so it's just a matter of knowing that you matter, you respect yourself, and you love yourself. Once you understand these things, what you realize is that it begins to ring in your mind every time. And so I remember I spoke these words to somebody, and she said, Lillian, the next time I was going to meet with this person, then will I allow this person to touch me the way I love myself and the way this person is? Should I allow him to touch me? I stood up, took my bag, and I left.
Wow.
And so understanding that you're setting those boundaries not to punish yourself, but because you love yourself, it makes it very easy for you.
It does. That sounds so beautiful. And it kind of leads me to where I wanted to go next, which I want us to talk about work, but I also want us to talk about love. Because women are like, we're like we are very, very people pleasing, and we act like we're all tough, and by the end of the day, most of the time we'll give in or we'll tolerate all kinds of behavior and stuff. I mean, so for you, let me start with you, Ifya. What's that been like your boundaries when it comes to love and relationships and men? Okay.
Well,
that means what?
when it comes to anything like love and all that, I really do not want to even go there, because I always say that I feel like I don't even have too much knowledge there, honestly.
Okay.
Because when it comes to those things, it's very dicey. Hey, sometimes you can fool.
Sometimes you
can't fool. And then later you're thinking about
did I do that?
Yeah, but like sometimes I think for me, naturally, I'm a very, in as much as I come off as a very strict person, naturally. So sometimes it helps me. So if maybe I don't want to do something, I know how to go about it and not do it. But if I want to do something, nothing can stop me. That's the truth.
I know that behavior.
Like, nothing can stop me.
Very
it's like, I know that this thing is bad. Like, it would come back to hurt me. Like, I have processed the whole thought. I have seen how it would all play out.
But still.
Forward. I'm going for
She's
it.
forward.
I'm going for it. So when it comes to those things,
You
but
have not.
yeah, but I think one of the things that recently I've been doing that it helps me a lot is actually listening to, thinking about, listening to the person, and then I'll think about it and be like, is it worth my time? That is the first question I ask myself. Is it worth my time? Because sometimes if I like, you can see that this person is fooling you. You can see that what they are saying doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you want to play along. But now I just keep quiet, listen, and then ask myself, is it worth my time? If not worth my time, because I know that once I engage, I can't stop.
Okay.
So if it's not worth my time, I'm not even going there.
How do you? What's the metric of the is it worth my time? Like, how do you measure the is it worth my time? As in,
Me.
I don't know if do you understand what's like,
Yeah, I
how
get
do you
you.
conclude whether something is worth your time?
So, I don't like to put my personal life out there, but like, let me give you a little scenario. So I think 3-4 weeks ago, I met someone. The person was like, "Oh, you're so pretty," da 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 da. And then I started engaging the person. The person will call you at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. And I'm like, the whole day, you can't call me any other time than 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So I even asked the person, why? Is he an arm robber? I asked him, is he an arm robber? Because it's like, you're always working on, like, you're always available at night. And then I went to ask, why are you married? Because then it's like, it's when you are alone at a certain time, that's when you get to call me or talk to me. So I was like, please don't call me at this time. And the person was like, that is not nice, da 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 da. Like, they were complaining. I mean, men, when you push their ego,
They'll complain.
they would turn it around. So I was talking to a male friend of mine, and I was telling him, and I was like, oh, if you to right now, you're setting what don't do this, don't do this. Men, we don't like that. So, and I was like, you're part of the reason why I'm always in trouble.
Yeah.
You're part of the reason why I'm always in trouble. Fast forward. This person stopped calling at night and stopped calling
Completely. Wow.
So it's like, imagine I engaged him.
Yeah.
He will be calling me at night, and then it would turn into a booty call. Literally,
Yeah, and you never.
it is always a booty call at
when
night.
it's and you never got to the bottom of why.
I don't care.
Well, that's nice.
really
I love
don't
that
care.
for you.
I really do not care, because at this point, sometimes I know myself. When I engage it and then I move forward, I will keep going and then I won't stop. And then I'm always the person who would want to get to the bottom of things. So it's like, oh, have I done something wrong? And if you are not lucky enough and you get someone who is manipulative, they would go ahead to manipulate you into thinking that you are the bad person. Meanwhile, it was just a boundary you were setting for yourself so that you can have that peace of mind. Because during the day, you'll be sitting there and be like, oh, so this guy, won't he call me? This guy, won't he call me? I mean, we are women. Like,
did you ever try calling him during the day?
During the day, sometimes.
Okay.
But I stopped because you realize that he will still call you at night.
Was he busy?
I don't know.
Now
He's
I
busy.
am curious.
You're
Let
busy.
me call him a question. What's
You're
wrong?
busy, but I don't know. So I really, you see, sometimes I really don't engage certain things. So where I ask them, what do you do? Now, when you ask that question, it's like you've asked someone a wrong question. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, what do you do? And then they are coming at you like, oh, and now the new one is they do crypto, right? Crypto, and then what?
Forex trading.
Trading stock. So they're always up at night.
So they're always what?
They're always up at night. I'm like, yeah, we see people who do forex trading. I know people who do forex trading, and they do it literally in the day.
Yes.
People trade in the day. So what are you telling me? It's different if I'm a dumb person, which I'm not. So certain things, you analyze it. As I said, me, if I engage it, I'll keep moving forward and I won't turn back. By the time I realize that I'm at the far end and I can't turn back, so I try as much as possible to cut certain things. Yeah.
So that's you and love and boundaries. No, but I think you've successfully set
Yeah,
some sort
I mean,
of
I'm
boundary.
not getting there that much, but I'm still getting there.
Oh, I think
I'm
you've
still
done
I'm
well.
still getting
I
there.
think you've done well.
Because for me like this, I live alone, but you can't come to my house after 10.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, because no. So the gate in our house car is noisy. So I was thinking about it. I was like, I had a friend who used to come around that time. And I was like, we would disturb neighbors. And then sometimes it's like, your neighbor will insult you and then they'll be thinking,
You can't just fix the gates, like oil the gates or something.
oh, it's a bulk proof. So
Right, okay,
opening
so
it,
it's noisy.
you'll make
Okay,
noise.
okay.
So it's like you disturb your neighbors and then with time they're like, oh, this girl every day she's making noise, you know. So I'm like, you know what? Please, if you can't. I remember I lied to someone. I had to lie to someone that my landlord said nobody should come to our house
Landlords have
after 10.
Oh, did they
Meanwhile,
believe you?
I'm sure, I don't know, but I mean, you have to believe me. My landlord said don't come to his house after 10. What will you do?
You can't do it. No, but I mean, if that's what you need to set a
Yeah,
boundary.
sometimes you just have to like say something that will protect you
Yeah.
and not make you come off as, oh, you're being too strict.
Mm.
Because like in this era, any small thing, hey, you're too no, you're strict, you're this, you're that. So something to just make you also have your peace of mind. Literally.
I absolutely love that for you. What I've learned to do is just say like, no, like I don't come to my house. Like, what are
Yeah.
you coming to do? So the number of people who know where I live is very, very
Small,
Because
yeah.
I'll just literally tell you like, what are you coming to do in my house?
Mhm.
Like, why
not
do you
playing
want to come
ground.
to my house?
Literally.
Especially at night. Like, are we doing an all night? Are we like, what are we? Why? Like, stay in your
I know.
house. Like, why are you? And I think that I don't usually like to have a go at men because I don't think that all men are bad.
Oh no.
But I do think that lately, some section of men are really just taking the piss. You know,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of entitlement, there's a lot of options, there's a lot of choices.
Yeah.
So as soon as you put up any sort of boundaries, like
oh, they're
you are-
out. So
like
yeah.
you,
Oh,
you
yeah.
think you are this and you think. I had a guy tell me once that. So I don't remember exactly what he did, but I expressed, the fact that it was unacceptable and I didn't like it. Okay, so I think actually what he did was that he showed up at my house randomly
Wow.
during the day, but I really didn't like it because I don't like. Why have you come to, And
You
so
didn't call me.
no, exactly. So then he stopped talking to me for a while, and then I saw him in town or something. I was working with my sister, and he was telling my sister that I thought that when I said that, then it's like it will make him chase me more or make me. But if I feel like that's what I want to do, then it's fine. I mean, my sister was in her element, so she really insulted him. Like, she really went the extra.
Right.
I'm sure but it can be painful, and this is kind of bringing me to also what I want to talk about when it comes to love and relationships is that as women, I know they say that women have the power because we have the cookie. That's what they say, but it's just that there's a lot of cookies in the market. So how do you guys feel, when you're saying no to someone? Is there a fear? I don't know if you guys are married or single, so but let's
I'm married.
okay. Is there a fear that you don't want to be too some way because
So that you can get married.
so that you won't
Or you won't get a man.
you won't exactly you won't get a man because our parents do that to us, don't they?
And we've seen like parents stay in marriages taking
Exactly.
years from their husbands.
so when you're
yeah.
choosing singlehood temporarily or singleness, how does that feel in terms of, let me start with Lillian, how does that feel in terms of boundaries and saying no, not now, not you, not this time, no thank you.
So I was married for a long time, and then I came out.
Well, so was I.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, and like you're saying, some of the advice that people give to you is that, oh, don't be too hard. You see, now you are a divorcee, you have kids. If you don't take care, nobody will marry you. If you don't take care.
MFI and I were just talking about that before the show. Yeah, the whole.
I mean, and these are people who genuinely feel they love you and they are giving you the best of advice.
And I think that's what hurts the most, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. And so they'll tell you to go for the next available person who comes or this or that. What I think is this. Men appreciate value. It's not true that they are cookies. I mean, yeah, they are cookies. 50 Ghana, 10 Ghana, everything. They are cookies. But men appreciate value. And so it's not true that
Would it
if
be
you
fair to say some men?
yes, some men appreciate. Yes, some men appreciate. Of course, some men appreciate value. The value that a woman brings, or who the woman is, how she carries herself, who she is as a person. And so, it's not true that when you set boundaries, it's going to scare away. In fact, there are men who love the fact that you have those boundaries. You can't come to my house unannounced. You didn't buy the house for me, or you didn't pay the rent for me. And so you can't come to my house unannounced.
So if he pays the rent,
You
then he
can't
can come
unannounced.
unannounced.
You can't.
Okay.
Even that you can't. But I think that it's all about how we communicate these things. You see, sometimes in love and relationship, we are scared to have the hard
Hard
conversations. You know, in the beginning, it's all date nights, movie nights, blah blah blah. But that's when you actually need to have the hard conversations. These are my boundaries. I don't appreciate a man who has a female bestie. It's a boundary for me. I don't know how
for me too.
I don't know how I'm going to, because I won't have a male bestie
Right.
whilst I'm with you. And so these are, but somebody else wouldn't mind. And so for boundaries, it differs for people. But this is my boundary. And so right from the start, I should be able to tell you that this is how I feel about this or that. You know, like, I don't do drugs. So if you do drugs, we can't we can't have any. I try to live within my means. So if you are the person who has 100K and wants to blow it all now,
Go ahead.
yeah, we can't. We can't have anything.
But you can blow it with them.
No.
And then what would you spend later?
No, I mean if like you and I are friends and I have 100K and I want to blow it. You can come and blow it with
no.
me. Like, don't you have to have a boundary?
You finish
After
your
you finish blow, you come and
You
disturb
come and
me.
ask me.
You come and worry me. So I think that some men appreciate value based on what you're looking for. Understand the fact that the boundaries you're setting is to be able to attract the kind of people who treat you right. Because without boundaries, that's when you're going to attract all manner of things into your life. And when you listen to stories of abuse and all the things that go on in relationship and marriages, it's because we opened the gate and one person just slipped in.
Yeah, we
And
see
it
the red flags.
Yes,
and, we still let them
and
in.
it could kill you. It could
destroy your
it could
career, your
destroy
life, your
you
self-esteem,
forever.
your
Not many people make it out of that zone. And so that is one zone that you have to be extremely careful about, because just that door, just one person entering, that's the end of you.
Okay. So you will get some boundaries on that, right?
I'm asking myself, like, how did I grow so fast? Right now, I'm having these conversations, like,
These
hey.
conversations are very necessary.
Well, anyways, so when it comes to relationships, as I said, I don't have
Forward ever, backwards never. That's where we get it.
I don't have like so much knowledge in that, but what I've come to learn is that if you accept it the first time, it will happen again. Yeah. So if you do not want it, just lay it out. I don't want this. I think sometimes it's not so good that I have that behavior, but like when I'm saying something, whatever you would think in the long run, I really do not care.
Okay.
But sometimes it's not the right behavior to have. But when it sometimes too is helpful, because
It is,
whatever I say, whatever you think about in the long run, I really do not care. And growing up, society is like, oh, when you're 28, 29, 30, you should be married. This, that. I think we are gradually getting out of that phase.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really not too worried.
Too worried, okay.
As to what if you go and I don't get married, like, but sometimes I mean it will prick you once in a while, but you just have to know that there's more to life than just that.
Yeah.
And then you've seen people living the truth of that. Yeah, there's the part where at the end of the day you would want to go and lie down with your partner to talk to your partner.
Well, some
and
people,
over-
have partners have separate rooms and they are barely speaking, and they live in the house and they just
and
wish
they
would
barely
die.
talk. Yeah,
I mean, so yeah, there's the flip side of
right.
that. Yeah.
But you see other people to living peacefully,
yeah.
who do not have partners.
I mean,
or
I think we all
whatsoever.
have a yearning for belonging.
Yeah.
A yearning for
But
companionship.
if it doesn't
think
come,
that is
I can't
innate
keep
in
it.
us.
Yeah.
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 You
If
crave
it's not
for
in-
it,
yeah.
actually, but it doesn't mean that
You should kill
you
yourself.
follow
for
that
it.
feeling and then you allow just anybody.
Anybody to.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've done enough on love.
Right.
So maybe let's move to work.
Work.
Because we don't have that much time left. But let me start with you, Lillian. Your industry, I mean the real estate industry, I think I'm not too sure how female what the proportion is, but I mean I know that definitely in terms of building and all of that, it's very male dominated.
Yeah.
How do you cope with, being a realtor, in a place where you're constantly dealing with men and dealing with the 3%, the 5%, the
I would say
negotiations, when clients are saying no, when you have to say no to clients. I mean, how have you navigated your boundaries in your professional life?
I think that, like you said, it's one industry where you get to meet a lot of, it's male dominated, especially the construction. And so you meet a lot of men. And interestingly, I tell people that high value men, there's a high, they are very careful. People think because maybe they have certain kinds of money, they chase after everything or anything. But actually, that's not been the case. Maybe with me. These are people who respect themselves and they respect you who is coming, and they appreciate the fact that you're coming in for work. Of course, there's always some people who will try to, and so for me, I have created checks and balances to make sure that I don't appear unprotected to them.
Okay,
Because
what does that look
you're
like?
entering people's homes, and so a lot can happen in people's homes. And so, for instance, I've had a scenario where this person wanted us to meet in his home. He wanted us to look at it and sell it. And then a lot of the time, they think I will show up alone.
Okay.
And so we got there. I'm sure he saw it from the window. So we started calling. He wouldn't even pick up the call again. And then eventually the security man said, okay, I can take you there. And then we knocked on the door for a while. He came out, opened the apartment, wouldn't even open his mouth to talk. And so my male colleague was like, was this man expecting you to come alone? Because he looks as if he's disappointed
Yeah.
or something. Yes. Another instance, somebody said, let's meet somewhere at the lounge of a hotel to discuss. I want to bring in investors. I got there. I went with my cousin. So we got there. They said, I'm in room 219. I'll never forget that thing.
Lounge. Like, how did the lounge move to a room?
219.
219. So specific.
I would never forget that thing. I was like, you are in room what? He said 219. I said, I don't do business
In rooms.
hotel rooms or any room for that matter. You know what? I'm going to the breakfast buffet. We are going to eat and we'll put the bill on your room. If you like, come out.
If you like, don't come out. That way, we're not leaving here hungry.
We went with my cousin. He came. There was no discussion about business
So
whatsoever.
he came down. Okay.
Yes. So I think that it's also about you yourself knowing the industry you are in and then setting the boundaries for yourself. For instance, my boundaries, I don't show up alone.
Okay. That's
And
a good
most of
one.
the time, I show up with a male colleague.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Or if I don't have a male colleague available, a male friend or a male something, definitely. Yes.
So that helps.
Yes, it helps a lot.
It's funny because I'm on the other side of the construction business, and it's difficult dealing with male workers and just the general, I don't know, it's like an inherent perception of you are inadequate, just because
Yeah.
you're a woman.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tough because, and it's unfortunate because what we've had to do is to a certain level have a man kind of mediate the I don't know what it is, the everyday interactions, so that things move smoothly. Because the thing is, sometimes when you're like a female boss or when you're running a business, well, maybe not every business, but you know, with construction and stuff, the harder you go on them, the less work they do. It's like I just don't understand
I
it.
think that it's not just you as a female experiencing that. It's a general thing. Even the men in the construction will tell you that, look, it's not easy for them.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's difficult working with Ghanaian artisans in general.
Right? Tell me,
Yeah.
like a straight line
Yeah. You
can
pay
look
for
like
the things.
everything
Oh,
apart
boss,
from
we
a straight
finished.
line.
We are coming to fix it today. And then, like, in the next 2 weeks, you have to be chasing them and chasing them. So it's a general thing. It cuts across. If you talk to the men in the industry, they will tell you.
The same
Sometimes
thing.
you have to fight them. I read some of them. You know, it's crazy. The
It's
construction
crazy.
is-
It's crazy. It's crazy. But thank you for sharing. I mean, how you deal with your work stuff. Do you want to tell us how you deal with your I mean, your industries are different.
Yeah.
So I feel like with you can kind of pick and choose from the get go who to.
Oh no. So once you're bringing money, I don't say no to money.
Okay. Yes. You don't. Yeah.
I don't say no to money. So one of the things that I look at is I try to stay professional.
Okay.
So so my gifts business, for instance, it's conversations, it's through text. Calls are quite limited.
Okay.
So whatever you are saying, I'll bring you back to where we started. I'll bring you back to being on that professional line, because I think recently one of my colleagues in the industry had a saga of someone saying she was chasing her husband just because she was helping the husband to surprise
Hey.
a side chick, actually.
Oh God.
So I try to stay in that professional lane. I mean, I've had one or two friends from my business, but one, please, not a married man. They are not married. So, and I try to know how to speak. Like, please, this, that. And I ended there. Good evening. Hello. Very well, thank you. I don't come and do, hi, dear. Hello, boo. No. You won't get me doing that. Because that is when
That's when
the
you're
comfortability,
opening the door.
That's so
the
unprofessional,
yeah.
actually.
I don't do that. So when sometimes business owners do, it icks me, especially also because I'm a business coach. It icks me to the, because like, why are you calling me dear? We are not friends. Be professional. That is why there are professional words to use in business settings. Because sometimes you think you're being nice, but you're leading the person on.
Yeah.
And people just
And people get upset when you
lead them on, and then
you
you
talk
leave them.
about these things like, why are we interacting on this level? It's supposed to be business, so why are we interacting on this level? Hi dear, hello, hi, you are beautiful, you look beautiful. You are bringing money. Let's focus on the money.
And I've had like a lot. I've worked with more than 100 clients over the years, like way more than like more than 200, and I've not had an instance where I would have a male client coming at me like that, because right from the get-go, I'm very, sometimes when they get to know me and they're like, oh, you're really friendly like this, because it's business. What am I coming to talk to you about? You're not my friend. I have enough friends. So once I understand the fact that I am transacting business, and also one of the reasons why I like to stay professional is I want you to pay. Because if I need my money, because immediately I become friends with you, you'll be asking me for discounts. No. I need my money. I need my money. So please, I try as much as I can to use professional words. Sometimes if I can't compose the words myself, I'll go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT, this client says this. Give me a way to sound professionally. It will give me, and then I'll copy and paste for you. Yeah. So anytime I am engaging, even as clients, like people who come to me for coaching, especially on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, some of them will come, oh, I want you to be my coach. Oh, boy. They just want to have your number. So I'll tell you, please, we can chat through email. My WhatsApp, my business WhatsApp my coaching business, you can't even call that number.
Okay.
Yeah, so because it's strictly emails and I'm keeping it very professional. So if you come to me and you're like, oh, you want to speak to me, I'll give you my WhatsApp number, but you call the number, it's in a Wi-Fi. So you call and call and call, no one will pick.
Come.
It will go through, no
But
one
no
will
one
pick.
will pick,
Yeah,
okay.
because I don't even see that the call is coming through.
Wow.
Yeah, so I try as much as I can to stay very, very professional.
from
Because
the
I've
get-go.
I've realized that if you don't, you lose money. You lose clients, you lose money, and then in the long run, you have problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that makes a lot of sense. Thank you guys. Let me take some of our messages. This one says, oh, screen is gone. Okay. Boundaries are set by your worth. It's only the poor that accept anything that comes their way. You must be able to know what you want and what its benefits are and say yes or no. People's perceptions and opinions shouldn't be a headache to you. This one says, if you develop yourself and provide for yourself, that's even a boundary.
Yeah.
You don't need any artificial boundary that will be collapsed by I need money urgently.
Literally.
Money urgently. I mean, I need money urgently. Once you send it, that's all boundaries. Like all boundaries
Into
have
the
come back.
gutters.
Like all boundaries. Because I need money urgently. Now, how are you going to have boundaries? And then they'll say, oh, how much you need? So I need like 1,500 to take my mother to the hospital or something. Then now tomorrow you are coming to have boundaries. So tomorrow when they say to you, hello dear, how is
You have
mommy?
to respond.
You have
have
to
to
say, please don't
respond.
address me as dear.
So with the poor people bits, today I was on TikTok and I was watching a video. I think Kennedy's firstborn, Amanda, she posted a video. She was like, she was walking by the roadside and then she saw a homeless man. And then she thought she heard the man say he wants water. So she needed water to drink, but she had a bottle of on water that wasn't
Unopened
open.
water.
Yeah. So she gave it to the man. And the man was like, no, he wants money. And then she was like, oh, I thought you said you wanted water. I said no. So she moved away. And then the man threw the water away, still walked to her that he needs money, not water. So she was like, she's come to the realization that even people who do not have
Yes.
anything still have boundaries.
They
So
still
how
do.
much more you that you have like things, you have access to other things, and
No,
then
poor people can be very cheesy.
Yeah,
oh.
yeah,
Like, why
he
you think
needs-
I'm poor, so
he
you're
needs
coming
certain
to
needs
Boundaries
money.
actually
He
has
doesn't-
nothing to do with whether
With
you're
whether
poor.
you're
you're poor or
poor,
not. Yeah, he
You'll be
needs money,
shocked
not
how
water.
people who are poor actually love themselves and wouldn't tolerate certain
And you
things.
feel like, oh, maybe you've met somebody, they don't have food or something, so you give them like kenke or something. Be like, I don't eat kenke. Oh.
Right now, you even dash someone 5 and they're looking at you like,
Like, what's this? Like,
Yeah.
please, I don't eat kenke.
and they're not lying because 5
Like,
no,
remember, if you're gonna give me food, I want fufu in Akran's here. Like, I mean, if you're gonna do it, might as well just do it.
wow.
Nana Kwesi says boundaries. The thing is, while people look at their interests, they don't consider your interests too. They don't appreciate and ask whether or not if they are distracting your pattern while they wanna exercise theirs. It takes mature people not to fume when you try to streamline things. People will not be happy about your boundaries, but the question is it about their way and satisfaction or your peace of mind, happiness and health? If you ask me, prioritize you first. Anything else is secondary. All right. Okay, last one. Good evening, ladies. You're all looking pretty tonight. Thank you so much. I think that in any proper relationship, there must be boundaries to keep both parties in check so that the bond can grow organically. But for the forex trading and Bitcoin stuff, it's also very effective at nights, looking at the time zones. I mean, of course,
Yeah,
all the 5
obviously,
hours
yeah.
ahead and stuff. I mean, of course, I think that was.
But I mean, people can still trade in the afternoon. I see
trade in the
people
afternoon,
trading in the
yeah,
afternoon.
you know. All right. Thank you guys so much, Lillian and
You're
Ifya, for
welcome.
coming.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate your time. My name is Animwaa Anim-Addo. This has been Strong and Sassy. We'll be back next week, as long as God gives us life. A very big thank you to the whole team. I'm handing over to the news team for the 8 o'clock news.